Have you ever noticed people changing as they become more successful? Now that they've got the money, they're not quite the same person that they used to be. Well, I'm going to be exploring this topic on Quora, where someone's asked, why do people change when they become rich or successful? Let's get into it. So Gene has said, the opposite is often true. People sort of freeze at that point in life where they become successful, which is why a lot of people who become famous early in life remain quite immature forever. The lady below is called Tura Satana, never heard of her, an actress, exotic dancer, and martial artist. Tura was one of Elvis Presley's many lovers. She later recalled their romance, saying he was clumsy like a teenage boy in bed. Tura described the king as a wham, bam, and thank you ma'am type of guy. Basically, he never really matured since his late teens. She had to teach him how to be a good lover, and then, with some coaching, Presley became, as she put it, pretty damn good. It's a bit funny, but hardly surprising. Who's going to tell the king he's a lousy lay? No one ever tells a superstar they're bad at something. All they get is praise. So why change? If everyone walks on eggshells around you and acts like you're all that. A meteoric rise to fame doesn't change people, it pauses change. What Gene's saying does seem to make sense, because if you've reached success, then why do you need to change? You've achieved what you want to achieve, maybe their goals run out and there's nothing left to achieve, so they're like, well, I'm just good the way I am, I don't need to learn anything new. So progress halts. So Sean here says, because of the lack of urgency they had when they were poor. A good example is with fighters. Conor McGregor was unstoppable early in his career, knocking people out right and left. He'd come from humble beginnings and was destined to be a plumber before he took up fighting. Then he started raking in tens of millions of dollars, and it started to show. He was out partying like a madman, drinking and doing coke. He developed a god complex about fighting. Sure enough, he started losing fights. The same thing happened with other great athletes, including Mike Tyson. The old saying is that it's hard to wake up early to jog if you are sleeping in velvet sheets. The lesson is that you shouldn't lose the fire that got you where you are. Many people keep it. Money doesn't spoil everyone, but it spoils quite a few. I do feel that is true, because the reason to keep grinding, to keep fighting, progressing, no longer there. You've reached success. So why keep progressing? I'm not shaving this beard until I get 1,000 subscribers. Help me get a clean shave and press that subscribe button. The thing is, once you get 10 million or so, as long as you don't do drugs and have just the tiniest modicum of self-restraint, your $500,000 a year income from interest alone should be enough to keep you very happy and very comfortable and extremely lazy for the rest of your grandchildren's days. Albin says, was thinking the same thing. When is enough just enough? That kind of money would let any normal person live the rest of their life in luxury with hired help, and still enough for a 100 to 200k charity annually. So Anonymous has answered the question, did becoming rich change you, by saying, yes, it certainly did. I was always that kid who existed to do well in school because of how I was raised. Get good grades, get a good college, work the majority of your life, retire when you're 65, and live off the savings until you die peacefully in your sleep one night. My parents lived paycheck to paycheck. None of us ever went hungry, but I could tell they cut down on portions some nights so my brother and I could eat until we were full. High school was a tough time for me, as it was for many others. I had a couple of friends, but it was primarily a school-only relationship. Most of my time was consumed with homework, and I was terribly shy. I'd always been interested in programming for a fun activity during my minuscule amounts of free time. I sold a few Minecraft plugins in the past years. I didn't make much, but I gave it all to my parents. We went out for a fancy restaurant and it was just gone like that. I moved past Minecraft and started making some fun web projects. After spending my grade 10 summers slaving away at the computer, I had made a few WordPress themes that I thought I'd try and pawn off to some local business owners. They had all the bells and whistles. I was quite proud. I sent probably 15 emails out and not a single person was interested. The failed endeavor was certainly a blow to my confidence, but someone told me about a site where I could sell my themes. Why not? What did I have to lose? It took a few days for the first sale to roll in, but it was a constant stream. I've sold over $3 million worth of themes on this website in the 4 years that they've been up. So he continues, a couple months in, I had over 5,000 and decided I should probably mention it to my parents. They knew I was selling there, but it took off and I wanted to see how long I could keep it a secret and surprise them. Obviously they didn't believe me at first. I had to show them my balance. We put it in my mum's saving account and talked to someone about legal stuff and future finances. By the time I was in grade 12, I was about to become a millionaire, and not a single person at my school knew. This wealth brought with it some much needed confidence. I could wear expensive clothes, go on trips with my family. I really could do whatever I wanted. I decided to drop the news by going out and buying a brand new BMW. It's funny how people treat you differently when you have money. Well, teenagers at least. I didn't care that my new popularity was simply because I had a nice car. I still knew who my real friends were. I saw how the popular ones tore each other apart behind their backs, so none of them ever became my true friends. I rented a Rolls Royce for myself for prom date. It was a fun night. Now I'm done with high school and I don't know what I'm going to do with my life. I think I'll probably go to university to study mathematics and computer science. It doesn't really matter what happens with that. I'll be learning for the sake of learning. For me, money has brought freedom. The returns on my various investments and the income from the themes will last me the rest of my life. That reminds me of something I was talking about just the other day, and that's I feel like the type of people that become entrepreneurs reveal themselves at a really young age. And I feel like it's actually quite a rare thing, but when you look at it, it's those young people like this guy who said he sold WordPress themes. They're the kind of people that go on to build really great businesses, I feel like, compared to most people, because they've got that sort of drive, willing to explore, do things. Like he said, just put it up there because why not? Another thing is he said he's going to go and learn for the sake of learning, and that's just going to help him going forward. And they're the things where I look at myself and I think, I didn't do those things, so I've wasted my time. I didn't have a goal in mind. I didn't put myself out there. So I can see where I went wrong and where these entrepreneurs went right. It's all a learning experience, isn't it? We all learn things at different ages, so here I am. So Dylan here doubts the whole thing. He says, I think this story is most likely fake. And then someone else here says, yes, it might be fake. Nobody buys themes for millions of dollars, especially he only made a few themes considering his age and experience. Themes don't cost thousands of USD either. You can get them for free or pay someone to make them for you. I think he's like misinterpreting it here. People probably weren't buying the themes for thousands of dollars. It was more likely there was a lot of people buying the themes for a small amount of dollars. Rajin says, you followed society. You're still on your factory setting. Live. I mean, the guy just made some WordPress themes. I don't really get how that's working on his factory setting. So we've got another answer from an anonymous person here. He said, it gave me the ability to turn over the girls that I'm shagging regularly. A little context. I'm based in Australia. Moved here about 10 years ago from SG. I don't know where SG is. To the average Chinese girl, I fulfill more than the 3 prerequisites: car, PR, job and house. I'm not sure what PR stands for either. Public relations? After knowing that I own my cars and house outright, have a decent paying job and 4 investment properties, they were practically throwing themselves at me. I would date/shag a girl for about 6 to 12 months or until I got bored of them. Ditch them using some crappy reason, take a short break and another one would come along. Then the cycle would start over. Don't worry, I got tested for STDs every 3 months and I've had a vasectomy done when I was 21. That's pretty early, isn't it? In summary, becoming rich, relative to some, incomparable to others, has made me into a cynical person that doesn't believe in love. It made me realise that most girls simply see me as a meal ticket. It also made me realise how cheap some girls are. And yes, it made me into a horrible person. So Ronald says, I've known a lot of wealthy people and seen a lot of people become wealthy or rich firsthand. It makes you more of what you are in the first place. It amplifies those character flaws you use to hide because of lack of confidence. However, you are not wrong. Most women are looking for a meal ticket for sure. Lynette says, there's still hope for an STD, isn't there? Respect yourself, please. So Julian says, we all change in one way or another as we go through the journey of life. But when it comes to wealth and success, these changes can be more pronounced, more visible to the outside world. Here are a few reasons why people change when they become rich or successful. Number 1, it gives them power. Imagine this, all your life you've had to abide by certain rules. Perhaps make compromises. Suddenly you have the world at your fingertips. That kind of power can be intoxicating, and it can lead to a shift in behaviour and priorities. Some people might become more confident, maybe even a bit too cocky, while others might use their success to give back or pursue passions that they had sidelined before. Number 2, people treat them differently. When you become rich or successful, the way people treat you changes. Friends and family might start acting differently around you, either putting you on a pedestal or conversely becoming resentful. New acquaintances might only be interested in your wealth or status. It's enough to make anyone question their relationships, and by extension, their own identity. Number 3, it amplifies existing traits. Success and money amplify traits that were always there. It's like turning up the volume on the speaker. The music isn't different, it's just louder. Someone who is always generous might become philanthropic with the right resources, while someone with a penchant for control might become more domineering. Number 4, the spotlight makes them more guarded. Success often means scrutiny, and that can lead to a defensive posture. People might become more guarded or change their behaviour to maintain their image. They're not necessarily changing at their core, they're just adapting to their new environment. Most people view wealth and success as the best thing that could ever happen to them, but it can quickly turn into a curse and become a more lonely existence if you aren't careful. So we've got a picture of Floyd Mayweather here with tons of jewellery, money, watches, and he's just sat there on his own. Can't say if he's lonely or not, it's just the picture shows him on his own and it's been framed that way. I'm yet to experience that sort of thing myself. I don't know how becoming successful would change me, but I can tell you how going from paycheck to paycheck, like just earning enough rent, to how actually earning a normal wage that most people do at a full-time job affected me. So I was self-employed, doing video, and then suddenly I was earning what most people earn working full-time, at a normal job. And how did it change me? Well, I just stopped worrying about spending money so much because I knew money was coming in. Like, I bought this laptop, this MacBook, but for the most part, I just continued doing what I was doing, and that's doing exactly what I'm doing now. I'm earning a lot less now than I was then, but I'm still doing the same thing, which is just locking myself inside and working on videos or creative things. So I don't know how it would change me. I mean, that's a modicum of success, just a tiny bit. And that's just to reach what most people earn working a normal job, but at home. I don't know, say if I earned 3 times that, how would I change then? I don't know. I'd probably spend more on improving my hardware, like my computers and stuff. But do you know someone who's been successful? Do you know how it's changed them? Leave a comment below if you do. And if you like this video, you might like the 2 videos that are going to pop up just here and here. One of them might pique your interest, so give it a click. I'll see you in the next video.